Okay.
And welcome
Wowie.
everybody.
Yamper? I'd say Yamper because he's so adorable. I just want
Yeah.
little
Okay.
The dog?
squishes. Yeah.
Uh,
Like little
what's the
doggy
newest
kisses.
one?
Like if I bring
Yeah,
Baxter up here right now, Baxter will give me little puppy
Or the-
kisses. Yeah.
or the one that's like a little cinnamon roll, the bakery dog.
We love
Oh,
the bread
Fido.
dog. We love the
Yeah,
bread dog.
No.
I'd give him kisses.
I think it's Growlithe for sure.
Yeah.
I like that we all went the
Yes,
wholesome
that
route for
hair.
this. That was really sweet.
Well, at first I did not, so I'm really glad that those two talked first.
So true. Well, welcome everybody into Roll D Talks. This is our TTRPG talkback show here on Roll D5, where we decompress and deconstruct our favorite indie TTRPGs. And today, we have a special guest today. Jess, would you like to introduce yourself to the good people?
Yeah. Hi, friends. My name is Jess. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and you can find me on most places on the internet at JesTheHuman. That's Jess with, I don't know why I'm holding up two fingers because it's just one S. I like TTRPGs, and I've created a few TTRPGs, and I've also written some supplements for existing TTRPGs. So I'm excited to talk about, you guessed it, TTRPGs.
That is
Absolutely.
crazy. We've even played one of your
Shocked
games on the
Pikachu
channel.
face.
Mhm. That's
Heyo.
right.
Dog
You could,
Princess.
yeah, check out Hot Dog Princess, check out Uncaging Nicholas, and yeah, all good stuff. Um, with me today is of course Anduin and Mika, the other TTRPG. I think that word's just been in my head so much all day. The other Roll D5 co-heads of the channel, and yeah, we're here to talk about any fun indie systems that we played recently. Uh, Jess, you are a very respected presence in the space for all of the tables you facilitated, all the charity streams you do, and just like really having such a good grasp on safety tools and organizing good tables for people to get together. Do you want to like just take a sec and talk about like how you got to where you are today?
Okay, first of all, color me blushing. Oh my gosh, Julie. Sure. So, back in 2019, I used to love loitering in Target, and my partner and I would often do so, and we would often loiter in the game section. And I would always see D&D, and I would always be like, wouldn't it be like kind of quirky and fun if we like played this? And so I started pestering some of my rugby friends, and finally one said, "Okay, Jess, I will DM a game of Dungeons and Dragons for us when we go on our rugby camping trip." And she did, and we all had such an amazing time and were just immediately hooked. And then I tore my ACL and I couldn't do anything. And so I really just dove into playing D&D, and then I learned that D&D wasn't the only game like D&D. And so I started kind of delving into TTRPG Twitter and learning about different games and making connections with folks. And that was back right before the pandemic. The
Mm,
the internet age of TTRPGs,
it
one
really
might say.
was.
I'm
Kept us
I
going, kept us alive, kept us sane. Sane.
truly. And so I just started, connecting with folks all over the world. And eventually I was like, what if I started hosting my own TTRPG charity streams? Wouldn't that be fun? My first big one was for the National Abortion Federation, actually in 2022, when abortion rights were under attack. And I loved it so much that I decided to continue doing it monthly, and I've done it ever since.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. I was not expecting this story to begin with, so I loitered around in Target a lot.
It's a fun activity. Unfortunately, some of the fun of loitering around Target was having a coffee in my hand, but it's not worth the price of that coffee anymore. So it's just for fun. And now I look at Pokemon plushes, and I'm really waiting on Gengar to be in my local Target so I can add to the collection.
I would send one to you because there's like 3 at our local one. I would send them to you.
So I love that offer so much, but the fun is like it showing up in
anticipation.
person
Mm,
and me being like, oh my God, Brandon, it's finally here.
like that it's not
I
just
get that.
given to you. I
But
understand.
it's a wild Gengar.
There you
Exactly.
go.
I like that. Oh, that's good.
So Jess, you're telling me you would hate that the official Pokemon store in Japan just has a plushie for every single Pokemon. You would hate being there, is what you're saying. You would hate
I
going to
mean,
the Pokemon cafe next door that serves food in the shape of Pokemon.
I would hate it so much.
Hmm.
Nobody invite me to Japan and bankroll me buying all of my favorite Pokemon. I'm watching you.
My
Just comes out
sister
with a
was just
sack.
there.
Oh,
What?
damn.
Yeah, and she video called me over WhatsApp while she was at the Pokemon Center trying to decide what to get me.
Oh,
It was so beautiful. I got a little Rowlet hand towel.
Oh,
yes.
hand towel.
Love Rowlet.
Yeah,
That's so
Rowlet
sweet.
the towelette.
Oh,
right? Oh,
kitty.
kitty.
Real
Hi,
life creature,
princess.
just like in Pokemon.
Hi.
Oh, look at that neck
Princess Hot
extending.
Dog.
That is
The
a
Princess Hot
true
Dog.
otter neck right there.
The Princess Hot Dog.
Uh,
Okay.
uh, uh, uh.
The back
Okay.
end of the hot dog.
Very cool.
That's right. The bun of the hot dog. Jess, do you want to talk about some of the, on the note of Hot Dog Princess, do you want to talk about your process for designing the TTRPGs that you have? Because what really struck me about both Hot Dog Princess and uh, Unchaining Nicholas, Uncaging Nicholas, right, was I feel like a lot of people approach the process of designing their own TTRPG as trying to make it something like, the combat mechanics are this, and then this is this, and I know that's something that has stopped me from tackling the design of it all. But I think it really undervalues games like Honey Heist and those wonderful 1 to 2 pages we play on the channel. And I think seeing you develop Hot Dog Princess and Mika develop My Boyfriend is a Cryptid and just being like, hey, this is a fun thing we can do felt so wonderfully refreshing and freeing. So do you want to talk about that process a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, I had the idea for Hot Dog Princess watching my partner eat a hot dog at the zoo. And I was like, what if your two stats were hot and dog? And it kind of just
Incredible.
developed from there. And then Uncaging Nicholas, this is so goofy. Every night, my partner Brandon and I tell each other we tell each other why we love each other, one thing, and we tell each other what we're going to dream about. And I was like, what if, and then I did the intro for Uncaging Nicholas. A bunch of Nick Cages go and save a Nick Cage from the multiverse of Nicolas Cage films. And so I guess my process is one, goofy. It's got to be fun. It's got to be goofy because that's kind of my brand. Um, and then after that, it's kind of just letting the game write itself,
Hmm.
giving like a very bare bones structure and letting the players and the GM be creative. Um, and I think that I honestly do that for all of my writing supplements that I've done for D&D as well. I only have one brain, obviously. Maybe I have more. I don't know. But I can only do so much and give so much direction. And I think it's a little bit more fun letting the folks that are playing the game help build upon that. Does that make sense?
It does. I think having that the rules are there, but they are the tools for you to have fun with rather than the things
Yeah,
you need to adhere to really allows that communal storytelling experience if that's what you're thinking of.
absolutely.
And just goofing
Yeah,
off with friends.
exactly. I mean, it's not, I don't make games to like say this is exactly how it needs to be played and this is the kind of game that you need to have. What I'm writing is a guideline for y'all
Mm,
to go and facilitate your own fun.
that is
Love
such a
that
good way to
too.
think about it.
Because we've had a couple of designers have said almost the same thing. We're like, hey, do you happen to want to be on as a player or a GM or anything like that? And usually they're like, no, I want to see how you interpret the game. I want you to break it. I want you to have fun with it. Come up with things that I wouldn't have thought about. And that's so wonderful creatively to see how people interpret your game. And I love that.
Absolutely. I remember my first playtest for both of the games. I was a player, not the GM, and both GMs said, "Well, what if I have questions?" And I'm like, "This is your game now. I might have been the one to write it, but I'm a player, and you're the GM. So what you says or
Mm.
what you say goes. So you tell me."
Heck yeah.
It's probably so fulfilling to have your work recognized in that way, where people can run your games for you, and you get to watch someone else hold the reins of it all.
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. I love it so much.
Heck yes. Um, I'd love to. This has kind of been the interview Jess show, because I think it's just that on and Mika and I have talked a lot about many things, and we're kind of just excited to have you on and hear your insights
Pretty
on
much.
everything. Um, as far as navigating the space, you have a pretty sizable following. It seems like in the general TTRPG media space, and that's been through a mix of your charity streams, through sweet good morning to X people who do X posts. Do you have any insights on, I guess, the social media landscapes of TTRPGs right now? Because I know you started doing more TikTok videos as well. Um, and
So good.
it can feel like a weird uh validation circus existing in the social media field, but there's also an immense potential to do good with it, as you do with your charity streams. And do you have any thoughts about navigating that space and growing a presence in a way that fosters good community and not just likes? I feel like this is all stuff you've thought about before.
Well, and to give you an example of how cool you are, on Twitter, you're at 3.3K followers, and on Twitch, you are at 1K followers. Like, that's very significant.
Over the course of 3 years, if that's when you started doing TTRPG stuff, that's pretty dang cool.
Thank you. Shucks. Again, color blushing.
We're gonna recognize the stuff you've literally done, and you can't stop us.
R
Exactly.
nar.
Clear, not the water.
Okay, well, I have a
Yeah.
couple. Oh, were you?
Oh, I will.
What?
Sorry. No, I was gonna say, like, on a more personal level, Jess, you've helped us so much just as our channel to grow, and like helped us find tools and everything to make sure we're a good, safe space. So like, good for the community as a whole. Like, it's just you're really down in there helping people. And like each time in the past you've brought something, given us be like, oh, you guys should use Wintermeat. Um, oh, you guys should do this or that. Here's some other ideas. And each and every single time I'll message on and be like, God damn it,
Hmm?
that Jess, they know what they're talking about.
Pretty much.
That's brilliant.
God
That's
damn it, that
exactly what we
Jess.
needed.
You
Yep,
guys.
Jess.
Oh
You
my
know what you're doing.
gosh. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, I'll start with something that I wish that I would have known when I was first starting
Hmm.
out, and that was diversifying. Who would have anticipated a little musky rat purchasing Twitter and making whatever that is now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, and I wish that I would have started an Instagram and a YouTube and a TikTok and all of those different ways that I'm able to connect with folks when I started my Twitter. I didn't, unfortunately. I started it 3 years later, but I've had a lot of fun with it. And I think my biggest advice for growing an audience and connecting with folks is just being your authentic self.
Hmm.
Because I think that folks can tell when you're not being you and when you're putting on a facade.
Mhm.
And honestly, I guess for me, it's easier just being me. Like what you see is what you get, and there's not more to it. And I think that folks can connect easier with that than when you kind of put on a face to be facing the public. Does that make sense? I don't know.
It does. I think people can really sniff out people who are trying to network.
Mhm.
Folks who really seem to mostly be in it for themselves, as opposed to the act of creation or trying to foster a larger community. I think that's all wonderful. So where did that process start for you? I know we started doing these charity streams, but you've also garnered a pretty large audience on a text-based platform such as Twitter. And what are your thoughts on how a person might go about doing that?
Um, Definitely not trying to be the main character of Twitter. I think
Mm,
that's the wrong way of going about it. We always see those folks with the weird TTRPG takes that are there to either, if they're a blue check mark, they want the money that
yep.
comes with the advertisements, and if they don't have a blue check mark, they still might have a blue check mark because they can hide it. But I really think just like adding value, adding your input into conversations that are already started, or creating conversations about things that you want to see change within the community that you're in, whether it's TTRPG Twitter or board game Twitter or literally whatever. Adding in your input and adding value into that, and supporting others. I think that's
Mm,
one thing. I don't want to say that's helped me along the way, because I don't see it as that. But when I succeed, I want my friends to succeed, and I want to take them with me. And I hope that they do the same for me. But I know when I see opportunities that not necessarily fall within what I want to do, but I know that my friend Daryl Sexy Gaming would be amazing for, I'll always send them his way. Or if I get asked to join a project and it doesn't necessarily meet my requirements, the folks involved, I'll always say, I don't want to be involved because of XYZ, but I think that this person would add so much value to your project. Um, so I think thinking about not just yourself, but how you can bring others along with you.
mm. It's that aspect of community building, right? There
Yes,
is.
I love that you can just take all of the like blah, 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 and say, this is what Jess means. Thank you so much.
I mean,
That's a
hey,
good summarizer.
it all
Like
builds
if you
off
Hmm.
of each other.
Yeah.
You know, it.
find oh sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. Please go ahead.
If you find too that you want to move to another space, I highly recommend Threads. It's been really good. I mean, if
Oh,
you don't
God
want
love.
to, that's fine. But like, I would love to have you there because we've met some really good creators and other things on there. Because I've pretty much abandoned Twitter at this point.
I don't blame you. I, whew, it's been real hard for me to do now the TikToks, the Reels,
All of the
and
Yes.
the
things.
YouTubes in addition to the Twitter. So maybe one day you will see me there. But for now, these four are where you can find me,
And
and
that
the
is
blue
totally
sky.
fine because I do the same thing with like World D5 stuff. I'm like I can't touch TikTok. Like
Yep.
like I'll do some stuff like every couple of months, but I'm like adding another thing is really hard.
It
There.
It's
is.
tough.
There's only so many hours in the day, and like,
Hmm.
okay, don't tell my boss, but I am on Twitter like all day long. But I am also working, but like I have a full time job and I have a partner and like a life outside of like the TTRPG community. So trying to balance all of the different things is hard. I give like such good props to the people that are just like absolutely killing it in the space, because I'm like, how do you do it? Unless you're in the TTRPG like industry full time. But even then, like, you've got your professional stuff that you need to work on in addition to all of your personal content. It's absolutely bonkers.
There is also a strong element of, I'd say, it can be tiring trying to diversify your presence like that. But I feel like finding those like two platforms that you want to really stick to, and then everything else will kind of be on the periphery. Like your name will be there, like people can find you there. Maybe you'll post there like once a month, but I think you are so right about diversifying, because sometimes these websites just go under so quickly. And
Hmm.
just for the people to be able to find you in one other place, I think is huge for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. I think often about the alternate universe where I leaned more into doing TikTok, because prior to Roll D5, prior to I think most Twitch stuff, I did hit like 2,000 TikTok followers, because I was just doing like, oh, what your favorite D&D subclass is about you videos, and it just kind of and I was having a lot of fun with them. Some of them got like upwards of 50,000 views, and then I was just like, this is kind of tiring, you know? Like you're putting a video out there and your one video about monk subclasses got 50,000 views, but the one you really put your heart into talking about why you really loved this class only got like 400, and you're like, what? Is it fun for me to chase the algorithm? I don't know if it is.
It is such a struggle trying to do content that fills your cup,
Mm-hmm.
but also resonates with your audience that you're trying to connect with. And like that, can I get a in between? Is there that in between? There's not always. And that sucks.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I've leaned into the things that make me happy are the things that I'm going to do. And if that doesn't resonate with folks, that
Yes.
sucks.
Yes.
Because that's what I'm going to do and put my effort into, because you only live once. You only have so many hours in the day. And at the end of the day, I want to be happy and fill my cup basically with the things that I'm doing. So I don't want to burn out. I want to keep doing this for the foreseeable future, I
Mhm.
guess. So I'm just going to keep on doing my own thing.
Heck yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Like they say, YOLO and Yosmint. You only have so many hours in the day.
That is so true.
Do they actually say that, or
No.
did you just do?
If
Incredible.
you could see me doing the mental math of like, what are all the letters
Wow,
there?
that was good.
Incredible. 10 out of 10. No notes.
Thank you. So, folks, we are halfway through Roldy Talks tonight already, but I think this is a great time to start talking about any indie games we might have tried out recently that you think folks should try out as well.
Yes.
Jess, I know you have an Animon stream that you're gearing up for, and you played that on Roll-D5 a few months back.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that was
and
almost like a year ago.
Was it a year ago? I don't know
was it
time.
really?
Let me
Maybe
look.
not that long. It was a
I-
while ago, though.
Am practically copy pasting that character that I played
Oh my God.
into this new one.
Was it-
Except I'm not doing the Big Brother thing. I'm holding out for you, Juli. If we ever do a part
TJ
2.
and Nat, was that it?
It was something like that. I'd have to go and check my notes.
I know it wasn't
But
TK. I'm like, TJ makes sense, but I don't remember what it was.
I think maybe it was JJ.
JJ,
So-
it definitely was.
JJ, yeah.
Yes.
Anytime I play a game and I use an acronym that ends in J, the second letter stands for Jess, and then the first letter for that one, it was just Jess, aka just Jess when I was a kid. Sometimes I'll play LJ, little Jess, CJ, kid or child Jess, KJ, kid Jess. It's all the same.
It's like Mika naming everyone Lemon.
Yep.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
just gotta have
Yeah.
a thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
90% of my
Speaking
characters
of
now have
that,
most.
so I'm going to be in Johnny XP's Ravenloft Misfits for a hot minute, and he said like, oh, the group could really use a cleric right now. I'm like, oh, sweet, Lemon the Aid, and he
Oh,
paused.
Cool.
Oh.
he paused like, I love that, but this is a more serious campaign.
Oh.
And so
Honey.
Citron, my character is Citron.
Citron's a great name, but Lemon the
Okay.
Aid, I want you to use that somewhere else, please.
We'll find a space for it.
God, that's so good. Heck
We
yeah.
streamed that 9 months ago. Oh
9
my
months ago.
goodness.
Time freaking flies. I don't think I had bangs back then. Crazy.
You did not know.
Somebody could have had a baby. I mean, a lot of people had babies.
Probably.
In between now
Ew.
and then.
I bet at least one baby was born in the last 9
At
months.
least one. Which is so funny. That's like 9 months ago because our 2-year anniversary is June 1st. And I'm actually commissioning someone to make us a custom cake for Rolling
Oh,
5.
what?
So I'm going to
What?
post everywhere. Yeah.
Wait, you're
By the
gonna
way, guys.
Exciting.
wait, you're commissioning a cake for you to eat while the rest of us just get pictures of it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
rude.
I mean, come on over. I've got space.
I mean, On did send us wonderful Roll D5 dice, so
I saw
You
them.
know.
They're so cute. I love them so
Yeah.
much.
Funny story. We will be doing a giveaway here soon on for the die.
Incredible.
Nice.
Maybe we could connect it to the charity stream stuff. Somebody donates a certain amount, they get the die.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Hi. Would you like to say hello?
Oh, please say
Um,
hello.
We wanted to do
Oh,
a
how's that
game.
boy?
Erica
Oh,
Bonduin brought this up, like making our own game using the D5.
heck yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
Right? Even if it's not like really like the most playable like
Yeah,
theme
because
out
the
there, it would just be fun for
Playable.
the meme of it. Like, hey, if you have,
Well,
you
yeah,
could do this little thing with a D5 die,
because like the way
Okay.
it rolls, it's the
It doesn't
number
roll
you roll.
perfectly.
It's flat bottom. Yeah, like you'd have to use the like a dual system or something. Use the two numbers
The,
on top that you can see.
the way that I've been doing it is I do whatever number is facing me most directly
Oh, I
because
like that.
because it is pointy on
Okay.
top. Like there is no like top to it, so you'll roll it and be like, is this a 2 or a 5?
That's a good idea, doing the one that's closest to you.
Yeah.
And then if y'all were to publish the game, you could just link to an online random number generator.
Easy. Or just do a D10 and divide it by 2 every time. You know, there's
Ooh,
options.
math.
In my
Gross.
That is
TTRPG, no way.
In this dress, no,
Mm-mm. Ain't no way.
never.
Ain't no way, no how.
Thanks
Jess,
for those.
you've also been to a few TTRPG cons over on the. Have you not?
You haven't been to any?
Weren't you
I
at big?
have no, I had
No.
my big work gala. I was so sad this year. I've been to TwitchCon.
Mm,
I have been to San Diego Comic Con.
mm.
I've been to Dragon Con. And that all has happened within the last year and a half. Those were my first cons.
Wow.
However, comma, I do want to go to Big Bad Con this year
Mm-hmm.
because we've changed my gala date. And I also straight up told my partner Brandon, I was like, we are going to PAX U in 2024. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is happening. So I'm a little bummed. Brandon isn't like super into TTRPGs. He's obviously very supportive. I wouldn't keep someone around who's not. Love him
Yeah.
so much. But PAX E is over his birthday weekend. And I was like, I'm not going to subject
Yeah.
you to this, even though I really want to. We're going to do something else. But yeah, I'm really excited for Big Bad Con as well as PAX U this year.
That's so funny too, because my husband is not a big fan of TTRPGs. It's just not his thing. And his name is Brannon. So every time you've said your partner's name,
Ooh.
I'm like, it sounds like you're talking about my partner. So I love that, the little similarities. But yeah, Shadow's right. Most of Rule D5 is gonna do our damnedest to get to Gen Con.
Gonna do our damnedest indeed. See what
And
happens.
I love that for y'all. I know I've told on this before.
Yeah.
You would have to pay me to go to Gen Con because I'm a Hoosier by nature. Going back,
Not a fan.
maybe if I'm getting paid.
That was like
Maybe
me
if
with
I'm
Texas.
getting paid.
I lived there
And
for a hot minute, and you'd have to pay me to go back there. So true.
Incredible. Yeah, well, hope to see you at one or many of them. On the last Roll Talks, we talked a good bit about the PAX U experience and how it's really fascinating getting to finally meet up with all these people that you've kind of crossed paths with, and how easy it is to often recognize folks immediately. And I remember seeing GM Justin there, who was on our channel recently, and I recognized him immediately. And what I said to him was, "Oh my god, thank God your like picture on Twitter is just your face, because I could find you immediately." Like his hair was the same, he had that like same bright smile, and I'm like, oh my god. And I had that moment like with 10 other people while I was there. So that's a really fulfilling experience for sure.
Okay.
My-
Note to self: change my profile picture to not Pumpkinhead Jess before I go to a convention this year. Got it.
Alternately, wear a pumpkin to PAX U next year.
Oh my god, my dome hurt so
Oh.
bad.
Not the
It
dome.
weighed so much, and I would like I would take it off in between photos and I would rest it right here. And like I had a bump on my head for like a week. It was awful. Do not recommend.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
My favorite piece of advice that Julie gave me was he's like, you know, because you're so tall, freshly dye your hair before coming so you're easier to spot and easier to find. I was like, girl, that's smart.
That is very smart.
I wish that I was standing out more in that crowd of people, not because I don't like my own appearance, but because it was so much easier to find friends who were wearing colorful outfits, or like I saw people that I'm not mutuals with but recognized from TTRPG Twitter because they were the ones walking around with green hair. You know, like it was very easy to spot people who stood out in a sea of literally thousands of folks walking around a convention floor, you know?
That's very good to know.
Heck yeah.
All right.
So looks
I'll wear
like
black and my hair will be color because I don't wear color.
there's a northeasterner in there somewhere for sure.
Oh yeah.
So we've played a few different systems on Roll D5 recently since our last detox. Were you on Overgrown?
I ran
You
Overgrown.
ran
I
Overgrown.
was the GM for Overgrown, and oh my gosh, that was fun. So, Overgrown is a hilarious game by Ben Newbon. To where your so this system is kind of meant to like fit in anywhere, so you can kind of create your own little world to go with everything. It's not really set in any sort of particular place, but your characters are two to sometimes three animals combined with each other. And so
That's
your
cute.
abilities depend on which animal is like the base animal, and then other things that kind of build on top of it. And we did that for our holiday special where we raised money for ASPCA for animal abuse. We hit our goal. It was wonderful. We had Sarah, the hype goblin. They had if you donated, I think it was like $10 or something, they would switch wigs. And they've got like this
Goodness.
huge collection of wigs. And so we had so much fun just like being like, all right, what wig they gonna pull up now? So we had a lot of fun doing that. And you'll be able to find it on Twitter, but Ben Newbon, I believe he's in England, but wasn't able to watch it live, so we watched it the next day and basically live tweeted the whole thing. And
Aw.
it made my day to like to because this is why I love doing what we do, is seeing the excitement for the people that we do these indie games for, and just like the brilliantness of them just like, you did this thing that was freaking hilarious. Oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. This is fantastic. Like all of these things. And it just makes me so happy to make others happy because we can help showcase their games. Highly recommend Overgrown. It is one of the funnest games I've ever had the pleasure to GM. So good.
Would you say it's a pretty easy pick up and play game? Is there like a good
Yeah.
amount of time you want to sit down with the rules?
Yeah, so it's very rules light. So there's not a whole lot that you really need to look into. I think the most like complicated part of is character creation and figuring out where you want your most dominant features to have like a +3, a +2, or a +1. But other than that, it's pretty easy. You just kind of pick the animals that you want. You kind of assign the abilities. And kind of go from there. Most of it is just straight like D20 rolls plus whatever your thing is. There's kind of like a difficulty system. So as the GM, you're like, okay, this is gonna be a very hard roll, so they have to roll above this certain amount. I didn't do anything in relation to combat because that's not the type of GM I am, is intentionally put in combat. But there is a little bit of that there. It's pretty straightforward. And there's actually a new rule that Mr. Nuban had messaged us and was like, hey, for people that roll a natural one, I have this new thing I'm trying out for the rule. Instead of it being like a critical failure, it was you gain an anomaly basically of your animal that is very inconvenient. So, like, our donkey capybara got restless leg syndrome, and others would just like one of their wings was gigantic while the other one was super super tiny, so they would like fly in circles basically. So kind of give them an inconvenient upgrade, and it was that was probably my favorite part of the game. It was fantastic. And I'll find the game and I'll put it in chat for anybody that's interested as well.
Heck
Sounds
yeah.
super cute.
So cute. So
We
cute.
love chimeric monstrosities raising money for charity. So sweet. But no, check out Overgrown. It'll be in the chat. And as always with Roll D5, if you have an indie system you want us to try, let us know. I know I've got like 2 or 3 on my backlog that I really want to run for the channel soon. And it's always just a matter of time because we love getting to people's systems. We love getting to try them out because there really is, you know, a lot of folks are understandably cynical about this whole thing, and like there is no like TTRPG community, and it's like no, there are several. You know, there's a lot of people who uplift one another. There's a lot of people who gain a lot from seeing their games run by other folks, and I don't know. I think we're all just doing our best here for sure.
That is very true. The only thing you can do is your best.
Just watch me. I'm gonna give them my worst.
You know what? I'm gonna be my worst this year.
So true. Mika, any additional insights from the Triangle Agency adventures?
Yeah.
Oh, I think one interesting thing they just released the Unstable edition, which is the final playtest before they release the full game, and in it they've introduced their kind of leveling up system. So you get 30 hours that each character is allotted for their work-life balance. And you get split between your ARC, you know, your anomaly, your competency, and I mentioned this before we got on stream. My brain,
Popped up
my
on the
brain is
screen. That
fried.
was so funny.
The what?
When you did,
You got a
did
thumbs
something
up
like
bubble.
that, and it popped up.
Oh yeah. Reality. And you know, you like after each session you get like between 1 and 3 hours, and you could put it on there, and it's sort of like just different tracks. And one of the suggestions was you know, you should role play these things, especially when you get like your bonuses when you hit a certain mark. But we realized that, you know, it can be inconvenient to do this, and so they say like you can role play individually, like do text based, like in a Discord channel or through email, etc. And so, you know, on RD5 we set up our we just set up our text based role play specific channels, and so we just had like our first 2 with Danielle and Shadow, and boy howdy, let me tell you, that brought me back to junior high and high school, which is how I, thinking about it, like got into TTRPGs, doing like Yu Yu Hakusho and Pokemon text-based channels. And like it was, yeah, blast from the past. And it is very it's nice because yeah, this is stuff like I wouldn't be able to, because the way we run Triangle Agency, like we have a rotating cast, no one person is there for every session, so it is kind of hard to, you know, level people up to prepare them for the next time they show up, and it's already hard to try and fit everything into 3 hours as is. And so it's nice, it's convenient, it's just a fun way to spend some time, and you can extend it for however long you need to. Basically, I'm saying if it's been a while since you've done text-based role play, jump on in, do it again. It's a kick. So that's what's new from Triangle Agency.
Really, Mika to Triangle Agency is like Juli to Gubat Banwa recently. Just a lot of working closely with the creator, and
Truly, I thought about
Great, I
bringing
have to take a
little
shot now.
alcohol
Go
shooters
for it.
I have. So yeah, just to take a shot in case Gubat Banwa was mentioned.
They take a shot whenever I mention it because I mentioned it quite a few times.
Mention it
Yeah.
again. Mention it again.
Gubat Banwa is a Southeast Asian
Yeah.
role-playing game. Tactical combat. The rules are cool. I potentially have 2 actual plays that I will be doing with it soon. There's a lot that's happening. It's fine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Potentially, should I announce it? Potentially a live in studio one. We'll see. We'll see. The fingers are crossed.
What?
The fingers are crossed.
That would be so cool.
Heck yeah. Anyway, so on the topic of organizing tables, segue, Jess, you are very good at bringing together cool people from across the internet to try out these different games together and raise money for charity streams. And I know that there's a lot of folks really every single day who are so inspired by the big TTRPG shows or their smaller favorites by their friends who are just like, hey, I want to give this thing a shot. Um, but I recognize that it's hard as a someone who facilitates tables to always just invite random people from the internet to your table. However much a person wants to, it's always helpful for folks to have, if not credentials, just proof that they will be a good mesh with the tables, that they have the experience and the equipment. So when you're organizing these tables, I think something good to potentially leave our audience with is what do you look for when you are organizing your tables for these charity streams? Because I know, there's a line of folks that want to be on them. So what do you look for as far as table etiquette, online presence, or baseline just proving that they're a decent person who can obey the safety tools? Do you look for and put into place to make sure it's a fun and good, safe experience for everybody?
Oh boy. Okay, this is a big one. I guess it depends. We were recently just talking about the One Piece saga stream that we're going to be doing in April. For that one specifically, I put out a casting call. Hey, who loves One Piece and is also a TTRPG AP performer? And so the folks came to me. And so I kind of looked through who I had respond to the tweet. There were some folks that I reached out to kind of immediately. Okay, let me pause for a second. Sometimes with projects like this, I like to have a couple folks that I already know play
Mm-hmm.
on the table, so I just feel comfortable. If it's something that I'm not super familiar with, my comfortability is just as important as everyone else's comfortability at the table. And so I reached out to a couple folks that I already felt comfortable with, and then got recommendations of the list of, hey, these are some folks that I think would be great to play. Do they mesh with you? Do you see any, complications coming up with any of the folks that I have on this list? Things that I'll look at. If someone is already an actual play performer at some of their performances, if someone's not already, looking at like reels or TikToks or just like short form videos that they've done. Because, like you were saying, like I want to make sure that they're not an awful person. Like I want to make sure that they're a good person, that they're going to perform well on the stream, because unfortunately, we are putting on a performance. It's not just a game among friends. I don't really look at follower count. I've played with folks that have 50 followers. That doesn't mean you're a good or bad performer. It just unfortunately means that you don't have a large following yet. That's the key word, right?
Yeah.
We're here to grow audiences. Um, for my charity streams, I'm not gonna lie, I have like, this sounds so creepy and weird to say, but like I have a list of folks that I want to work with, but there's only one of me, and I only have one channel, and I only do like one, maybe two streams per month. So I'm slowly working my way through my list of people. Mika, you are on it.
Oh,
So
sweet.
you're gonna play with
Oh,
me, gosh darn it, in 2024.
oh,
Um, but then
okay.
there are some
Yeah, no,
streams
I feel really good right now.
So cute.
um, but then um, there was one thing that you mentioned that isn't before I'm working with folks. But one of the first things that I tell folks in a session zero is I've in, and this is like verbatim what I say. I've invited you all here because I think you're wonderful people, but these things that I'm about to list are like things, if you cross them, you're never going to get invited back. And I bet all of the people on this call are just going to like block you out of their life. And it's no transphobia, sexism, racism, homophobia. Don't be an icky person.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are bad actors that will hide it and it'll show up on an actual play. Thank God I've never had to deal with them. But if it were to happen, we'd go to break. I'd kick them off of the show so fast, so quickly, make sure that everyone is okay, and then move on and make a statement later. But
Hmm.
yeah, those are, I guess I just rambled a lot.
No, you answered exactly what we were looking for, I think.
I even learned a few things.
Yeah. Yeah.
As always from you.
Yeah, no, the logistical process is always helpful to hear. And also I'm realizing is not that dissimilar from what we do with Roll D5 because we are primarily a one-off channel. We are constantly having a rotating cast of guests, ideally for several streams a month. So just something we do for our own comfort levels, that's why we have a team of 10 people that not only make decisions for the channel, but we also try to have at least 2 people from the team to basically just reassure the other team members and just so that nobody feels completely alone out there managing a stream by themselves without any other people representing the channel. It is, there's so many wonderful things you can get from meeting people for the first time, gaming with people for the first time. But when things are in the public like that, it's nice to have somebody that you know already. There's a lot of folks in the professional GMing circuit on Start Playing and such, who will often give their friends like one free seat at the table just so that they're not totally alone with 3 random strangers, And I think that is so valuable in an improvisational storytelling format where anything can happen, ranging from the wonderful to the uncomfortable to the no, 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 we need to stop immediately.
Absolutely.
So true.
Heck yeah. Well, folks, we are about to wrap up. Is there anything else y'all want to put out into the TTRPG community tonight? Any other games that are on your mind? Any advice you have for folks who are trying to find their spot in the community? And if chat has any questions, of course, you're welcome to send them our way as well, because we are reading it live. Yeah, I think everything...
Channel to rate as well.
Yes. Yeah, send that to me on the Discord and I shall do that.
It'll be a new channel we haven't rated before, so
I love it.
They just look pleasant.
Yeah,
so...
yeah, just message me. We'll be good to go. Yeah. Anything else y'all want to share about any recent TTRPG thoughts, insights, etc.?
We also played Sagas.
Heck yes.
Month, which was fantastic, and the honor is all mine to play with Jess and a whole bunch of really great folks later this month. It is one of the highlights of games that I really enjoy, where you create the world together. You do everything together, and it makes being part of that like actual play. It's what makes it feel like you're most involved in the world, is when you have a say in creating it together. And that's what I love about Saga so much. Same with Area. Those two go really well together in creating worlds and doing things together with the players. So I'm really looking forward to playing that for myself, and I'm very excited. That Kickstarter comes out on the 8th, the day of the stream,
right.
which is awesome.
It really is the era of Sagas. It is a very approachable system. I unfortunately had to just drop out of the Roll D5 stream for it for scheduling reasons, but Melissa Lusk was able to commandeer the character that I built, which was a literal normal bear. I was like, this is a do anything system. Like, what's something that I couldn't do in most other TTRPGs? Like, we had like a robot, we had the normal person, so I was like normal bear. So I took abilities like, well, they're obviously going to be strong, they're going to be good at climbing things. you could take negative traits for your character in order to take more positive traits. So I gave him a bad driver, you know, because probably would be a mechanical disadvantage if a bear was to drive. And then Mel
You don't know
commandeered it
that.
beautifully. I guess I don't have empirical evidence for that, Mika. You're so right. Thank you for keeping me honest.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll just talk real quick about the games we have coming up for the rest of the month.
Uh,
So obviously we have Pearl Detox. Come on, one of the best talk shows out there ever. We've also got Song and Sagas, January 8th. We have Goblin with a fat ass on January 10th.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that one.
I will be running that game, and I'm so anxious. I'm so excited.
It is a great crew, too.
It really is a great crew. We've got January 15th. We've got Triangle Agency, which actually just got moved to the 24th. My bad.
Yeah,
and
so
then
I don't have to
Triangle
GM twice in
Agency
1 week.
again on the 17th because chat redeemed a huge amount of points to have a specific cast come back. And then on the 31st, we have Cracker Barrel Has Fallen.
Yeah.
And we will be announcing the cast for that coming up soon.
Oh my
Incredible.
goodness. Yeah,
games.
TTRPGs don't have to just be Cyberpunk. They can be Cracker Barrel Has Fallen and Uncaging Nicholas and Goblin with a Fat Ass.
Hot Dog Princess. I love that game so much.
If-
I didn't even play. I was just watching, and I was like, this is the greatest game ever.
If you think it would be fun, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again, Jess, for coming by, providing your insights and ever valuable time. Thank you, An and Mika, for being able to roll up tonight, because I know you've both got to run and do stuff. I
got a stream right after this in an hour.
And I've got a Pokemon Draft League that I'm a part of, which is a whole other thing.
Oh,
We had a
okay.
list
That's
of like,
the cutest new card, actually.
what is that? I can't see.
It's Charmander,
Charmander?
looking outside of a garden window at I
Cute.
forget the
Oh.
bird's name, but he's getting his tail is all enraged because he can't get to Pidgeon.
like the little cat,
Pidgeot.
like a
Pidgey.
cat just hissing out the window.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
basically
A little
what
cat
it is.
going.
My husband got it for me, and I was like, "This is the cutest card ever."
That's so good.
Anyways,
Heck yeah! All right, pals.
Rowlet.
Rowlets.
Cute.
All right, pals, stick around because we are going to raid some other good folks in the space. Drop a good old roll d5 hello if you'd like to. We have emotes for that. But otherwise, yeah, just have yourself a good night. Take care of yourselves this year. Manage your time, your energy, and kiss your loved ones on the forehead. Ta-ta, everybody.
Bye,
Smooches.
y'all.
Bye. And we're going to be raiding in a few seconds. I always forget it takes a few seconds. All right, good night, everybody.